On June 5, 1989, and this happened. This is one of the most powerful images ever recorded. A single anonymous man, holding shopping bags, brings a column of battle tanks to a complete stop. The image is famous, but the story behind it, and what happened after, is far more complex. To understand the man, you must understand the 7 weeks that came before. It all began not with anger, but with hope. In April 1989, students, artists, and workers gathered in Beijing's Tiananmen Square. They were demanding what seemed simple: an end to corruption and freedom of speech. But inside the halls of power, the government did not see it that way. They saw a threat. A split was forming between those who wanted dialogue and those who wanted control. Pause. And the hardliners were about to win. On one side was Zhao Ziyang, the party leader. He was the moderate. He saw the students as patriots. On May 19th, he did the unthinkable. He went to the square, took a megaphone, and with tears in his eyes, pleaded with them. "We have come too late," he said. It was the last time he was ever seen in public. He was purged and placed under house arrest for life. With Zhao gone, the hardliners, led by Premier Li Peng, took control. They labeled the students counter-revolutionaries. On television, they met the hunger-striking student leaders. The students demanded dialogue. Li Peng offered them nothing. Pause. On May 20th, the government declared martial law. The army was ordered in. With Zhao gone, the hardliners, led by Premier Li Peng, took control. They labeled the students counter-revolutionaries. On television, they met the hunger-striking student leaders. The students demanded dialogue. Li Peng offered them nothing. Pause. On May 20th, the government declared martial law. The army was ordered in. This victory was an illusion. The failure humiliated the hardliners. From the shadows, the paramount leader Deng Xiaoping made the final call. He ordered a different army, battle-hardened troops from outside the city, to clear the square. And this time, they were given permission to use any means necessary. This small victory was also the final trigger. Why? Because in mid-May, Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev had arrived for a historic summit. The massive protests completely humiliated the Chinese government. Deng Xiaoping looked weak on the world stage. This humiliation, combined with the army's retreat, sealed the students' fate. From the shadows, the paramount leader Deng Xiaoping made the final ruthless decision. He said the protests were a counter-revolutionary rebellion. He ordered a different army, the 27th Army. These were battle-hardened troops from outside Beijing, who had no connection to the city. And this time, the order was clear. Clear the square, at any cost. On the night of June 3rd, the shooting began. This was not crowd control, this was a military assault. The army moved in not with riot shields, but with tanks and live ammunition. They fired indiscriminately into the crowds, not just in the square, but on the streets leading to it. The 27th Army moved in with tanks, armored personnel carriers, and live ammunition. They weren't just aiming at the square. They were firing indiscriminately on the main avenues leading to it. The dark streets were lit by tracer fire and burning barricades. Civilians tried to fight back with rocks and Molotov cocktails, but they were facing an army. The sound of bicycle chains, as people desperately tried to rig makeshift stretchers to move the wounded, was drowned out by the engines of tanks. By the morning of June 4th, the People's Army had fired on the people. The protest was over. The square was clean. The protest was over. The square was silent. The next day, June 5th, the tanks were rolling out of the clean square, and then the world saw this, the single most defining image of the 20th century. Today, inside China, this image, these events, are forbidden. It is the June 4th incident, scrubbed from the internet, erased from history books, and silenced by the state. Young people in China may not even know this happened. But for the rest of the world, this single, anonymous man holding 2 shopping bags remains the ultimate symbol of courage and a permanent reminder of what happened in Tiananmen Square.